Uh, Namaste, Namaskar, good afternoon. Welcome to virtual class of class 9. Dear students, listener and viewers, I am Dr. Chandeswar Yadav again before you with English subject. So dear students, last day we studied unit second, page number 13, where we talked about how letter can be written. And as we have talked, the topic is suggesting, advising, and persuading. This is the topic that last day we started, and we studied what is a letter, what are the types of letter, how letters can be written, about all these things. Last day we studied. We also studied how informal letter can be written, because in this unit second, in page number 30, what not 30 but 13, you can see one informal letter is given, or example or the sample of one informal letter is given here, that is Nima's letter to her brother. Nima's letter to her brother as a letter given here, and this is one example of informal letter or personal letter. And by observing this letter, by studying this letter, you have understood. So dear student, I hope you have understood how a personal letter, basically one informal letter, is written. And at the same time, we last day talked some difficult words used in this letter. So we talked about some of the difficult words that are used in this letter. So all these things last day we studied or we talked. And today we are going to study the letter. What is the message of the letter? What the writer of the letter, who is Nima, what Nima wants to convey to her brother. So as even last day we talked that this letter is written by Nima, and Nima has written this letter to her brother describing the importance of English language, or how English language can be learned better. About that thing, this letter is written by Nima to her brother, whose name is Lakpa. So Lakpa, who is brother of Nima, to whom Nima has written this letter. So, dear student, try to understand what the writer try to convey the message to Lakpa, and at the same time in this piece of letter we will learn that how advice can be given, how suggestion can be given, how you can persuade other, that all these things you will understand in this piece of writing. So dear student, what I suggest you, what I request you to listen carefully and sit with your book, with your notebook, and write as I am saying some structure as well. So as we will read the letter, and in the letter how the writer even tries to suggest us that how we can advise something. So we will also learn here the structure of advice, structure of suggestion that we will learn in this piece of writing. So dear student, again I suggest you to sit with your book and with notebook, and whenever I will say that the structure, I hope you will write it and you will practice it. So let's try to understand the letter. So as at the top or the top of the letter in the left hand side, what in the right hand side, you can see the river D, river Deerfield is there. The river Deerfield, Chester, UK, 21st April 2015. It means here in the top of the letter in the right hand side, this river Deerfield, Chester, UK is there. That is the address from where this piece of writing or this letter is written. And beneath that you can see 21st April 2015 is there. That is the date when the letter was written. In the left hand side you can see salutation is there, greeting is there. So as a salutation, as you can see, dear Lakpa is here. So as I have said you earlier that Lakpa, who is brother of Nima, is there. So sister has given addressed her brother dear Lakpa. Then it is said, I got your letter yesterday. As I hope you understand this sentence means. This writer is saying that she has got his letter just yesterday. Thank you for telling me all about parents and yourself. So in this sentence, even the writer or the Nima thanking her brother that what he has told him, he has written her about the parents and about himself. I am doing well here and thinking of returning home during Loshar. So as this writer of this letter says to her brother that she has thought to return home during Losar. So Losar, I hope dear student, one of the festival that is followed, that is celebrated in our nation, basically in hilly area. So during Losar, this Nima is returning here, that is said or that is written. I am excited to know that you want to improve your English. So this sentence shows that whenever Lakpa has written a letter, in that letter he has wrote that he would try to improve his English. So further it is said, I think you are very conscious about the importance of English as an international language. So in this sentence, the writer or Nima says to her brother that her brother is very conscious about the importance of English language, because English language is one of the international language. And here Lakpa, who tried to understand, who tried to improve his English, that's why this writer or the Nima is also very very happy. So in the first paragraph, as we see that writer has talked about her previous letter that she got yesterday, and she talks about improving of English language, and she talks here that English is one of the international language which what her brother like to improve. So this is said in the first paragraph. Dear student, I hope even you understood what is given in the first paragraph. Let's start talking about second paragraph. So in the second paragraph, as here said, as you have asked me, I am giving you some suggestion on how you can have better performance in the English language, both verbally and in the written form. So here the writer again says that Lakpa, who is very very conscious about importance of English language, that's why here this Nima suggested him or tried to suggest him that she is giving some advice, she is giving some suggestion that how he can improve or how Lakpa can improve his English language in written form and in spoken form. So some of the suggestion Nima tried to convey to her brother Lakpa, that is said here. So now in the next page, in page number 14, let's see what further says. So you should always try to communicate in English with your English teacher and friends. So the first suggestion this writer or the Nima try to say to her brother is that you should always try to communicate in English with your English teacher and friends. So here the writer suggest him that he should communicate in English. So from this sentence you can also find out, you can derive one structure. So here, as again I am reading the same sentence, and dear student, write one of the structure of suggestion as I am deriving from this sentence. So here you can see you should always try to communicate in English is given there. So from this sentence you can derive one structure, and a structure become subject plus should plus V1 plus object. This become one of the structure of the suggestion or advice. So dear student, write it down. This is one structure. I am again repeating it for you. So subject plus should plus V1 plus object, this one is one of the structure of the suggestion. Further here says listening to radio programs in English could be an interesting way. So another way of developing English language, as this writer suggests here, is listening to radio program in English could be interesting way, or by listening English program in radio, that will also be helpful for developing or improving English language. Again here further says, why don't you buy a radio for yourself and listen to such program? So though here you can see one sentence is written in question form, but this question form is again one of the suggestion, one of the advice. So from this sentence you can derive another structure, so write it down. I'm also seeing here one of the structure of suggestion from given sentence. So write it, dear student. Why don't you plus v1 plus object question mark? Why don't you plus v1 plus object question mark is another structure of suggestion or advice. So here the writer convey the message that if anyone like to improve English language or any language, then it is better to buy a radio and listen some type of program. Further here says, for better pronunciation, copying people could be effective. So for the development of, for the improvement of pronunciation, even whenever any people, any person is speaking, then he or she should copy how he or she is speaking. That is another suggestion given by Nima. As you listen to any new word, you ought to repeat it. As you listen to any new word, you ought to repeat it. Is said here. It means whenever any new word is there, you should repeat that word so that you can develop your pronunciation. So this is another. Now further here says, using an English dictionary. Using an English dictionary is another effective way to learn the language. So if anyone like to develop, improve his or her English language, then it is better for him to better to take English dictionary, and using English dictionary will also be one of the effective way of developing English language. You know, my English was not that good when I was in Nepal. So as Nima is here saying that whenever she was in Nepal, at that time her English was not so good, but now I feel it's great. But now he is in UK, he is in Britain, and he is using English language, he is listening English language, he is reading English language. That's why his language, her language is now better. I have to speak it all the time. I picked up pronunciation and expression one by one. So even here, then what Nima tried to convey the message to her brother and even to you, dear student, if you like to develop your English language, then you should speak all the time, or it means speaking English will be one of the effective way of learning English language. So that is said here. How about talking to the foreign tourists who come to visit our area? So here again Nima try to say to her brother and even to us or even to you, if you like to develop your English language, then it is better to talk to foreign person. Whenever any foreigner come to your area, start talking to him or her, and you can develop your English language. They will be happy to know about our village and its beauty from a student, and you would benefit with new English word and expression. So whenever talking to any foreigner, they will also get benefit, and even you also become develop your language, because you can understand, you can know some of the new English word uttered by, used by those foreigners. Further here says, I have heard that education related office in Nepal have been developing and distributing different audiovisual materials on learning English. So even some of the education related office has also developed and distributed some of the audio material, some of the video material of learning English. That's why here again Nima suggests her brother to use whatever some visual materials, whatever some audio materials are found here that should be used. That is said here. Again, another suggestion, another advice is there that should be noted, that should be written. So listen, dear student, what is written here. If I were you, I would talk to teachers about them too. If I were you, I would talk to teacher about them too. So, though even uh, through this sentence, you can derive one structure of advice, and so deriving the structure from the given sentence, write it down on your copy that if you what if I were you, comma, I would plus b1 plus object. Again, listen it. If I were you, I would plus b1 plus object full stop. This is the another structure of advice. And even, dear student, I would like to suggest you that even whenever you want to suggest someone, if want to advise someone, use this structure and practice it. These materials, I guess, must have been developed considering the average performance level of the Nepalese students. So as I have just said you that the writer says that even education related office in Nepal have developed some of the materials, some of the audio materials, some of the video materials. So you should use them and you can develop, you can improve your English. Wouldn't it be better if you got some of them for your practice? So here the writer again suggests her that it is better to use those materials to improve the English language. Now next paragraph, and in the next paragraph let's see what the writer suggests us. Going through your letter, I can understand that you have a lot of knowledge on the importance of English language. So even by reading or by going through the letter of her brother, this Nima says that Nima has realized that her brother has lots of knowledge on the importance of English language. That's why he further says, I would like to add here that as a lingua franca, English has much more significance than what you have written. So, English language is one of the significant language. Even her brother has understood that thing. This Nima says here. You know, people can have better understanding and respect for each other only when they are able to communicate. So, the writer suggests here if he or she or if any person can communicate with other person, then it become one of the good thing. It become helpful to respect one another. It become helpful to understand one another. So communication skill or communicative skill is very essential. Since the English language has been serving as an effective tool for communication worldwide, So worldwide or internationally English language is used here. That's why we should develop English language. We should develop the skill of communicative skill, because it is the English language that will be helpful for you to communicate with the people of the world. I help what it helps people of different nationalities to understand each other culture, values and sentiment. So it is the English language that is used worldwide, and it can or it also help us to understand the uh, different culture, to understand different values and sentiment of the world. That's why we should or you should develop English language. You should improve English language that is said here further. This way, it serves as a powerful means to promote fraternity that results in better relation among individuals, societies, and countries. So, as the writer is suggesting us that it is the English language that can promote, that can develop the brotherhood among the people of the world, because if this one language, this English language is used all over the world, that then it can surely develop the feeling of fraternity, feeling of brotherhood. So and among individual, among society and among countries, fraternity or brotherhood will be developed. So these attributes definitely contribute to world peace. So if English language is used all over the world and all people can speak English, use English, then definitely it will develop world peace, or the world become one of the peaceful place where people live together, sit together, and they will live their life peacefully. That is said here. Now let's talk about the last paragraph. In the last paragraph, as here said, hope I have been able to suggest on the ways you could improve your English language. So as a different suggestion the writer has given to her brother, and in conclusion, as here said, as I come home, I will bring you some audio visual materials on how the native speaker use English. So the writer is saying that at the returning time, she will surely bring some of the visual materials, some of the audio materials, that how native speaker use English. That's all for now. Looking forward to your next letter. So as now the letter is being closed here, that's why the writer says that is all for now. Looking forward to your next letter. So here the writer is conveying the message that she is waiting for her next letter, and finally the letter has been closed by saying, by writing, best regards, Nima. So even dear student, what I suggest you, that even whenever you are writing a letter, then at the end of the letter, at the closing of the letter, even you can write best regards, and your name should be there, your signature should be there. And dear student, in this letter, I hope you understand that how suggestion can be given, how advice can be given, and how English language can be improved. That all thing you have understood, dear students. So dear student, even time is over. So thank you very much. If you have any confusion about today's study, you can contact with me. My phone number is 9844072807. Even you can contact with me at my email. My email is chandeswaryadav15 at the rate of gmail.com. My dear student, have a nice day. Thank you very much.